Well, it's over. Best season in Lions history. 15-3. The 1 seed. Breaking team records. The Super Bowl favorites. It's over. Lions 31. Washington Commanders 45. Wow. 10-point favorites. Didn't seem like it. I'm not going to dig into the specifics maybe another time. Just the wound has had some time to breathe. Sunday it felt like a relative had died. Everyone was in mourning. The world seemed quiet in the Metro Detroit area. Weekends were fun. For the first time as a Lions fan, last year as well, but this year was special. This year was different. My line in college used to be, the Lions ruined my weekend every Sunday, and this year was different. This year you really looked forward to the games. It was fun. They ran up the score. Their offense was unstoppable. And their defense was getting the job done too, and then they played in Dallas. And I think we all had an idea of it, but didn't want to admit to it, but that was the turning point in our season, followed by a slew of other injuries. The defense just finally couldn't hold it together anymore. The bubble gum and duct tape that was holding the team together finally lost its adhesiveness, and Washington exposed them for what they were. The closest thing that we saw to this was the Buffalo game, and I think they had 1 or 2 turnovers in that game, and it was a closer game. You're not going to win a playoff game with 5 turnovers, and that was the difference. 5 times the Lions gave Washington the ball, one of which they returned for a touchdown, and the defense did their darndest. Jaden Daniels was the best player on the field, and that is saying something when you're on the field with Jameson Williams and Gibbs and Montgomery and Joseph and Branch and Sewell. He was surgical. He was unstoppable. It reminded me of the game when the Lions played the Saints in the playoffs, I believe, in 2011. There was nothing you could do to stop Drew Brees. All you were doing was hoping that he made a mistake. That's all you were doing when the Lions played Washington. And Jaden Daniels did not make one mistake. Not only did he not make a mistake, he made countless plays. And so did his teammates. Brian Robinson had a great day. Terry McLaurin had a great day. Dyami Brown, that's his name. That's who Washington took ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had a good game too. And the Lions just had no answers for them defensively, and man, that sucked. I don't want to get into Jared Goff much, but he did not play well. Pressure up the middle, which was one of the keys Washington needed to capitalize on. They needed to take advantage of a backup guard playing, and they did. Jared Goff was off his spot. He missed some throws. And it's over. As a Lions fan, it feels like last year in the sense that I don't care. I really don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I don't care if Washington goes on and wins. We can say at least we lost to the Super Bowl champion. I don't care if the Chiefs win. I don't care if the Chiefs lose. I'm not rooting for the Bills because they're fun. I just don't care. Football season is over to me. I'm still going to watch because I'm a football dork and because I've watched every other playoff year, but I think the majority of those games, if you play them again, series of 7, the Lions would win that series, but that's not the NFL, and that's why the stakes are so high. It's win or go home. You can't afford mistakes, let alone 5. A bit speechless. They were so good. They were so good. Until someone was better. And we saw it against Buffalo. that game against San Francisco was a red flag. I kind of shrugged it off. I really didn't think Washington could do that. I don't think anybody did. Nobody did, for sure. They're 10-point dogs. Going into this game, I think the sentiment around Washington was good for them. 12-win season. You snuck a playoff win, good experience. But now it's time for you to die against Detroit, and they said no. And now they're going into Philly, and they could absolutely beat Philly. If they play like they did against the Lions, they could absolutely win a Super Bowl. They played phenomenally. It's going to be a long, long offseason for Detroit. Jared Goff said as much as at his podium. There's going to be some tough nights. It's going to be a long time. A whole year. And a calendar year from now, and we still won't know if the Lions are good enough to go to the Super Bowl. So the draft has got to be defense, defense, defense. The key free agents that we could potentially lose are Carlton Davis and Kevin Zeitler. Both welcome back. Both played well when they were on the field. Zeitler just a bummer of a hamstring injury against the Vikings that last week. Carlton Davis missed a lot of time, but that was also another fluke injury. Breaking his jaw, I mean, that's not a trend. He played great as well. He's a tough Detroit player. He's welcome back. I don't know what his contract would look like. I wouldn't be too surprised if another team's able to offer him a bit more money. Good corners don't grow on trees, and the Lions might start to be strapped for cash going forward. That's what happens when you've got a team full of good players. McNeil got paid. Amon-Ra got paid. Goff got paid. Sewell got paid. I don't know if we're going to be able to start affording these guys. We'll see. The good news is I do think I'm getting away from where I wanted this to go. There'll be a whole offseason to talk about next year. This was such a fun year for Detroit. They smoked teams. They made you proud to wear your Detroit gear. I mean, when you walk around the city or your hometown or the grocery store, half the people, I don't even think that's an exaggeration, were wearing some kind of Lions gear. And I don't think that's a lame thing, bandwagon fans. It's finally fun to watch the Lions play football. It's tough to be a fan when you don't love football and your team sucks. This team was great. It made you proud to be from Detroit for more reasons than you already have to be proud. Your team was the one talked about on all the sports radio shows. They were talking about your players. They were talking to ones that were on your screen on Sundays. And if you didn't have Red Zone or DirecTV, they were talking about your team. And that's a cool thing. We were the center point of the NFL season. And one that's just gone like that, it's tough. In a blink of an eye, you had 17, 18, 19 weeks of awesome Lions football to look forward to, and now it's gone. At least it wasn't we're not sitting here talking about that one call and we would have won. 45-31. We were down 10 at halftime. It was their day. It was Washington's day. It was not Detroit's. You weren't able to say that very often this year, which was why this was so tough. And it's why the NFL is so special. It's why the NFL is king. Because the team that was the Super Bowl champion, or the team that was the Super Bowl favorite all year, is done. And now you got to recalibrate who you think's going to win. It creates a buzz in the NFL that none of the other major sports in the United States have. One mistake, one slip up, and you're done. So, it was an awesome season. Loved the ride. Really appreciative of the players, of the coaching staff. They'll be back. They will be back for sure. They'll probably be the Super Bowl favorites. I don't care who wins. They'll be back. So will I. That's it for Lions talk. At least until next time. There's still next year. Go Lions.